Well, that sucked. Timberwolves lose by one on the go-ahead three by Luka Doncic with 3 seconds left to lose both games at home, going down 0-2 in the Western Conference Finals. And you really saw this one coming. The moment that Anthony Edwards threw the ball out of bounds, which has happened a lot in the first two games in this series, strangely, at least 4 times, where he throws it directly out of bounds. This time coming with about 15 seconds left in the game. You just kind of knew that Kyrie or Luka was going to be drilling a three and ending this one. And that, of course, is what happens. Naz Reid does get a chance to tie the game, or not tie the game, take the lead, hit a game winner, has a wide open look from three, does not hit it. But he was the main source of joy and excitement in this game, and he was massive, going 7 of 9 from three, but misses the last one. And he really carried us through huge stretches of that game. His jump shotting was so crucial. Don't get the last one. We were just a little bit off. We couldn't fully take control of that game. We left that glimmer of hope for the Mavericks to come in and steal a game, and they just hung around for so long, even when we had a large lead, as we would lead this game by as much as at least 18. It was 18, 19 in that range for a while, and we had a double-digit lead throughout most of this one. The Mavs barely led, but they get it in the end. You can't give Luka or Kyrie a shot at the end of the game to steal one on your home court, and we just lost two very winnable games at home. Now, we just saw that doesn't mean the series is over. The series we were just in. We did this to Denver. They rattled off 3 straight. I'm not here to give up on the series, give up hope on this team. They have been showing up with their backs against the wall all season long, and I expect them to do so at least in some capacity, but the chances of winning the series and the confidence level of that is certainly looking a little bit more grim than it did going into this one, and it just takes a couple more performances from Luka and Kyrie, and we're just dashed and done. But doesn't mean that it is over. Still got to believe. To talk about some positives of this game, Mike Conley really showed up. He had a lot of huge plays in this one. I mean, the scoring was there, 18 points, but also multiple possessions where he's snagging offensive boards, making hustle plays. He was so good. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo, also really showing up for the second game in a row after a really poor playoffs. He's been doing well in this series, facilitating and scoring, and really have liked his slight resurgence. Nickeil Alexander-Walker just cannot buy a three-point shot whatsoever on the other end of the spectrum right now. He's struggled for recent history making a shot, which is really tough. Wish he could find just the middle ground where he was all regular season shooting the ball, where it's not really high highs and then really low lows. It's just kind of steady. He's going to get you like 2 threes a game. Hasn't been that for 7-8 games in the playoffs here, something like that. It's been a struggle. Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, you can say that categorized their night as well. I at least like that Anthony Edwards was a little bit more aggressive in this one. He was getting to the rim, unfortunately was missing a lot of layups, saw contact on a lot of those drives, but this crew of sucks really just swallowed their whistles at times and then just pick and chose when they wanted to call fouls, but they let a lot of contact go and still managed to screw up so many things. And it's so typical, like the challenge system too, and most things in the NBA, all the like fail safes that sometimes are supposed to just really help the refs make the good choices, just lock them into creating more injustice. It's just so great NBA officiating. Always a source of my fury. But we've gotten 2 really important performances from some key guys in this game. Like, you got the Naz Reid making all of the threes game. We got Mike Conley providing extreme scoring in this one, slow-mo production off the bench, and big leads throughout this game, energy. And we dropped both of these. Jaden with his insane shooting game in game 1. Like, we're hitting the notes that usually would lead to wins for this team, and we dropped both of them without particularly impressive games out of the Mavs overall. They've just kind of squeaked both of these out, which is a little concerning and very depressing. Man. Yeah. We need Ant and Cat to step up. I mean, they have shot the ball so poorly. Despite when role players step up, you're never really going to win when your two main guys shoot as badly as they have through these first two games. They've been pretty good through the playoffs. I mean, Ant has been spectacular. Carl has actually had really good moments. Has performed overall better than I was expecting through these playoffs. But on the defensive end, too, I think one of the biggest concerns for me is that the Dallas Bigs are winning their matchups. I mean, sure, Nas had a huge explosive offensive night. But if Gafford and Lively are just going to make everything and get dunks all the time and be those constant lob threats, that's super concerning. That's something we got to shut down. When we're giving up paint points, we're not the same defense. And Luka and Kyrie just kind of have everything going. They're getting people involved while scoring at a high rate. And we got to find some way to diminish that effectiveness, sell out more to one thing, and especially not giving Luka the late dump downs where we relax as we think he's going into his shot, or just commit extra defense later than is necessary, and helping too much is always going to get punished by Luka. And cleaning up around the margins, closing quarters better is always a good thing in the playoffs, but it feels like we're just letting them stick around and able to punch back at us given the right opportunity in those fourths where they're taking advantage. And that's where we should be wearing on people. Usually we're a second half team. You'd think this would happen through the series, that we'd kind of wear them down too, especially with all the great defense that they've been playing. But I don't know, has not happened through two games, but we've had two really poor star showings. You think that's going to turn around. Don't give up on this team yet, but we've got an extremely crucial game 3. If we lose that one, no one's ever come back from 3-0. We got to work now. That sucked. We got to start just fully locking in here. A little too much slippage in these first two games. That's how we drop both of them. Bummer. Let's recover. That's it.